Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another day here at Bronie's desk. And today I have our, as we affectionately call him, Dr. Dirt, Richard Renton, here to speak on products. And we have had a few questions come in. So, asking about products regarding that are good to help with prostate issues, with menopause issues, osteoporosis, and another thing that I can't pronounce, but Richard. So, with no further ado, I'm going to hand it over to you, Richard.
So, thanks for having me on. Let's see now. Does it have me on there? Okay. Can you hear me all right? Okay. All right. Thanks for having me on. So, yes, we're going to go over some few things. So, as far as the third question, we'll answer it first because it's kind of a shorter answer. And it's a two-part question. Do we have creatine in any of our products? The answer is no. Then they asked why. And that is that we try to design products that the majority of people are going to desire in one way or another. Creatine is typically for weightlifters or people that want to increase body mass. And supply and demand means that odds on favor, we would not sell enough of that product to make it beneficial in our multi-level marketing format. And so because of that, it's too specialty of a product. And so we stay away from that. So there's lots of good
that our protein drinks would be great for body lifters and so forth.
And they are, and you can go and look at, oh my word, I'm trying to remember him, Gene. I'm trying to remember Gene's last name, but he's probably 45 or 50 and still a bodybuilder, and he believes strongly on longevity products. And so, that being said, though, I understand why, because creatine is a successful product for increasing muscle mass and whatnot. But with our product line right now, we're not in that direction. We're all in more of the multi-level. So I'm going to kind of share some screens here and we'll go into prostate. It won't let me say share screen. Can you share me as a host?
Oh, that's unusual. I usually don't have an issue with that. Let's see. I can make it co-host. That shouldn't do it.
Okay. Oh, it just changed a little. There we go. And away we start. So in general, I'm going to make this statement. If a male lives long enough, he will probably get prostate cancer. The prostate is just an outright dirty organ. And it always has contaminants flowing through at one of the highest rates, that and the bladder. And so in people that I've met, even the people that say they've never had cancer, I lay a bet if they test themselves and in their later years and they actually got tested, they just have a really slow growing prostate cancer. I know of at least 5 different prostate cancers. There isn't one. It's kind of like the flu. There's different little twists, of which 4 are very, very slow growing. In other words, it would take 10 to 20 years before it would do enough harm to you where it would really change your lifestyle or possibly end your life. However, there is one that grows very quickly. And to give you an idea, I was the lucky one. I had that one. And it was doubling in size every 3 months. And so I did not select a nutritional way to deal with it because of how fast it was growing. I actually had my prostate removed. And so in that being said, I'm just being upfront and honest about it and let you know. When I designed the first product that you're looking at, which is ProstFX, I was actually, I think, having the problems with my prostate. And so I picked out the products. There's 2 things to keep in mind with a prostate. There's an enlarged prostate and there's a cancerous prostate. An enlarged prostate is fairly easy to work with if you use the primary ingredient of zinc and selenium. And we also have pumpkin seed, which is very, very strong, as well as some other herbs in there, including lycopene. But the main kicker is selenium, sal, palmetto, and zinc. So those are the ones that you want to look at. And I guarantee if it's a above average prostate product, you're going to see those items in it, with the exception of one. And I'm going to show you that one. But this will help you shrink and enlarge prostate. Will it stop or slow prostate cancer? The answer is no. If you're going to do that, you're going to go to the Z radical family, and I didn't bring that screen up. The escape family, and either take Fucoid Z or Z radical. I don't know if they're both available over there.
Yes, we have all three forms now,
along with beta glucan to address that. Now, can we say it's going to end cancer? No, you can't say that in the United States, and I assume Australia gets mad at you if you try to say that too. But you can go to pubmed.gov, pubmed.gov, and that is the United States Medical Library. And you can type in prostate and beta glucan, prostate, and fucoitin in there, and you can read the research studies that are done on it. And there's hundreds of them. And so that being said, that's about as the gray as I can get on that area. So if we were to switch to the next product, it's actually a member of, whoops, that's not the one I wanted. That's the one I wanted. It's actually a member of the Prohoba line. And the Prohoba line believes in the pollen seeds, and they're not really the seed. You know how a nut has a shell on the outside and there's meat on the inside? This is the meat of it. And you usually have allergies. If you have allergies to pollen, it's usually the shell part you have allergy to. I haven't found, well, I think I found one or two people, but really not that many individuals that have an allergic reaction to pollen burst, even though it's pollen. And, you know, maybe one of these days, if you haven't, you can have Adrienne Gold on and she could talk on it. But she's a firm believer that this will also shrink in a large prostate. It doesn't have the salpomenos. It does have trace amount of zinc and selenium, but not to the measurements that I'd like to see. But she says it does a great job in that direction. And she's an herbologist and I'm a nutritional chemist, kind of two different fields. And so she looks at it that way, and bless her heart. And it probably does beneficial, but it's not one that I support in that direction, because I go to places like pubmed.gov and find that. So I would put Prost if you're at the very beginning stages and you just want to see what happens. And this is, so in the United States, let's take a step back. In the United States, we have different levels of cancer. We call it stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and stage 4. I don't know if they have it the same in Australia, but stage 1 basically means it's isolated within the prostate and has not gone outside of the prostate, nor is it all the way through the prostate. And so if you can address this, if you have problems with cancer at this stage, that's the best time to do it, right? And that's catching it early. So I always tell guys starting from the age of 40 and even earlier, if they have a lot of family history, go get a blood test, see what the PSAs are. And I'm not worried about it if you have a particularly high number. I'm worried out if year 1, you're at a 1 point something, and at year 2, you're at a 3 point something. That's where you need to start being concerned. So it's the difference when you start jumping numbers that you need to start taking a look-see. And I know there's a lot of people out there that say, oh, never get a biopsy. Well, if I wouldn't have gotten a biopsy, I'd probably be dead. So I'm not that believer. There is risks with the biopsy because they basically take a sample from anywhere from 4 to 12 regions of your prostate. So they're poking a needle around there. And there's a lot of guys that are sensitive about that kind of stuff. but they numb you and, whatever. I understand. But, when you get the results, then they know what style of prostate cancer you have. And the reason why they do it in the multiple different areas is to see, is it only in zone 1, or is it in zone 1, 2, 3, or is it in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Because then they can say it's stage 1 or stage 2. And then if it's stage 2, then they might do a CAT scan or some other scan to see if it's outside your prostate, because then it's much more serious of a problem if it's outside your prostate. So I'm kind of bouncing back and forth from an enlarged prostate to a cancerous prostate. So forgive me for that. But if you're an individual and you have prostate problems and you want, email me and we can have a private Zoom call on it, and we'll talk about the ins and outs. My prostate situation was 25 years ago, so quite a while ago. So the new technology, there's quite a bit of new stuff out there. And the first thing I'll tell you is you need to do 99% of the research. You need to do more research than your doctor does, because it's your body and you're going to make the decision on what's going to be done. And if you stick your head in the sand and just say whatever you say, you're the doctor, I'll turn around and I'll politely head slap you. You need to figure out what's going on with your body. If you have an enlarged prostate and ProstFX doesn't work, then I go to the Good Herbs product. There again, if you look at it, they have some common products like the Sal Palmetto, but this one's got Uña del Gato or cat's claw in it, depending on what you want to call it. And it's got shiitake mushrooms, and it's extremely strong. And so, as I mentioned before with you guys, you take what's on the label as a direction. This product, if 1 dose is good, 2 isn't that much, isn't better per se. And this one, you literally only take 1 milliliter. So you don't take that much. It is alcohol based. So if you have a challenge with alcohol, you might not choose this product, or you may put the product in some sort of a little cup and let it sit out overnight. And the alcohol will evaporate out, or at least a huge percentage of it. And you can do it that way too. It's also very bitter. So I'll give you a forewarning. But, when you start looking at other areas that I'll tell you, you can go to PubMed and you can put selenium and prostate cancer in there, and you'll actually find a research paper that Dr. Wallach did 35 years ago, 36 years ago, when he was in China. And selenium showed that it reduced the chance of prostate cancer. And so in the United States, we got a health claim that actually allows us to make that statement. I don't know if that carries over to Australia, but it is there, so you can get the research paper and you can share it. There again, I would only do it if it was a slow growing one, and if it was in the early stages, so you could see what's going on. The other thing that I will show you is the immune egg powder. It kills the bad bacteria in your gut. And if you're starting to have problems with your prostate, you're probably going to have problems with your bladder soon. And it will work its way up. So I encourage them always to be on I-26 to kill the bad bacteria in your digestive tract. If you already do have a bladder challenge, remember Good Herbs has that kidney bladder support, and that's a good one for that one. So there's a rundown of our products. There again, if you're looking at someone that has an enlarged prostate, Prohoba would be, to me, the lightest formula, then ProstFX, and then the Good Herbs product. Support products, of course, would be selenium and the I-26. And so there's that group. If the person knows they have cancer and want to choose the nutritional way, then selenium is a big one, and the Z radical, the fucoid Z, and the beta glucan are all big ones. We've reformulated our beta glucan, and it's actually stronger than what it used to be. There's also a lot of people out there, and we don't have this product, but they're Linus Pauling fans, which was a research chemist in the United States. He received the Nobel Prize, not in nutrition, but he received a Nobel Prize, so give him credit for that. But he would have you take vitamin C to bowel intolerance for that as well. And so I'll throw that out there because if you do enough research, you're going to run into it. You know, if I turn around and show you my bookshelf, and we actually looked at the titles, I probably have 6 or 7 books on prostate, but they're all old books because I had them when I was doing the majority of my research because of my challenge with that. So that being said, if you have a question, richard@youngevity.com. Just remember, right now it's 15 minutes before 6 on Monday for me, and I know it's different for you. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, let me see here. It is right now almost 38 degrees here, which is hot for us. So I'm not sleeping much at night when it gets that hot, but you know, you're more welcome to send me an email. I promise I'll respond back to you, especially if you put in the subject matter prostate. I'd be more than happy to talk to all of you about that. The other issue that was asked about was menopause, premenopause, menopause, and what can we do about it? So my favorite, if you notice, I didn't mention the Proline on this particular product because Zia Fem and Zia Test are not as strong as the other products I was listed. And so I leave in that favor. If I go good, better, best, I can tell you that Zia Fem would be the good. The better would be Women's Hormonal Balancer. Do you guys have that one over there? Do I have any head nodding?
That's a good question. It's a good question.
Here, let me go like this and let me cheat really quick because I can bring up the Australian.
We've got the FXM one.
Yes, and that would be about the same as Women's Hormonal Balance. But let me look real quick. Australia, bring up your website.
We've got all the Good Herb ones. That one I know.
Yeah, Good Herbs is best. And that's female hormone support. And it's the best. But let me look up here really quick to see if you have it. Nutritional.
No, we don't have it. We don't have it.
Oh, bummer. Thank you for whoever said that.
That was Karen. Karen she knows more about the products than I do, actually.
Oh, okay. So
because there's so many, you can't remember them all.
So here, I should probably bring this back up. Let's see if I can do this really quick. Share, and then bring this one up and share it. So if you go to your website, and you can see right here, I have Australia on your website, and I click here, it's going to bring up the map. And so if you go to United States and then you go down here, you're now on the United States website, and you can look at all the United States products. And so here, if I put WO Women's Hormone, okay, I want one more, and we'll type that and support and have that come up. Where is it? There it is. And if I get that to come up, if I can find it, of course not, it's not being cooperative. So I'll cheat and go the other way. And I'll put nutrition, and then I'll look for, it'd be under longevity. I'll find it for you next time, bring it up. But it's the way that you can get to the American site when you're in Australia or New Zealand and take a look at our products. Because if I go and I guess, I'm going to guess 50223. And that's not it. We'll try one other number. 225. That's hair, skin, and nails. Oh, well, I can't find it today. But anyways, it's women's hormonal support. It's on the American site. You can take a look-see at it. Watch, I'll cursor down and find it. But there is Women's Hormonal Balancer. We'll bring that one up. And I think you guys have this product. And there it will help. The big ones that you're going to find nutrition-wise is wild yam support. In light doses, it helps young women become more regular in their period. And if they're heavy bleeders, like once every third, when they start taking wild yam, that seems to balance out and you don't have that really hard period, as I call it. And really, I shouldn't talk about any of that. The one thing that was kind of amusing for me is you see sal palmetto in this product, and it does help regulate the periods. Also, in women, it will enhance their mammary glands. And so if that's something you want to, take sal palmetto and you'll get that benefit as well. The only disadvantage to it is that when you stop taking it, the breasts go back to the way they used to be. And so, and then my favorite one is women's hormonal balance, hormonal support, which is a good herb product. And that will help. I would do that one for the ones that are pre-menopause and then post-menopause. That product helps in that one. And so does female hormone balancer, seems to work at all three stages of that. So I hope that kind of answers your questions. I left us about 5 minutes, and if you guys have anything you want to throw at me, you're more than welcome to. And I'll stop sharing my screen because I always forget to do that.
Karen, does your room have anything to throw at Richard? Karen's room usually always has questions.
She's got to unmute herself.
No, Karen.
No.
Okay. Anyone else have any questions? Gracie, do you have a question for Richard?
Harry has.
Harry has.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find you, Harry. You keep moving around.
I'm still here. Hey, Richard's personal question. How does a man's sex life be affected after they've had the prostate completely removed? You might not want to answer that, but I think we should still know.
So when they remove the prostate, a couple things can happen. A man has two sphincters to help control his urinary motion, and one of which is right at the end of the prostate. And so if they remove that, they can have, I call it laughing syndrome, because there's women out there who'll know exactly what happens. If you laugh hard, all of a sudden you kind of go, oops. Okay, so that scenario can happen. The other scenario that can happen is that there's some nerve bundles that go right there. And if the surgeon isn't careful and he cuts that nerve function, the ability of an individual to get an erection stops. And so that is an adverse side effect and can happen. Otherwise, if you maintain activeness and they don't cut that birth patterns, there's no reason why you can't have a sexually satisfying life.
Okay. I don't know whether this is true, but somebody said you can use an additional pump towards erecting the penis again afterwards. I'm not sure about that.
They do have that that will help you get that pump. And so I probably encourage you to try it. But what I find out is with men, if you don't use it, you lose it, right? And so politely saying, if you don't stimulate and be active with your partner, then you're going to have problems no matter whether you use a pump or not.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for that. That's really informative. That's fantastic. I don't have any issues myself, but then again, I believe also if I'm taking the right nutrition and honoring my parts of my body, I have less issues. Probably seriously, yeah.
So I just want to encourage all the men out there, please get PSA tests, know what's going on. I want you all to live to be 100. Well, prostate's going to be an active part where you're going to have to take care of yourself. And so it's good. Also, please send emails into the leaders in your area on subjects that you want me to talk about, because I'd be more happy to talk about anything. And if we don't have it, I'll tell you we don't have it. We have it. I'll tell you whether I like it or not, and whether you can get it over there. I'll do my best into looking in the area. But unfortunately, I need to run.
Oh, okay. Gracie had a question in the comments. Can you see the comments?
Go ahead. Be quick. Let's be quick about it. Here we'll go.
I don't think she can unmute. Oh gosh, she has a couple of questions there. I'm trying to work out which one. The other is on one customer has breast pain, inflammation, part of pre-menopause. And the other is on, I can't work out that, heart and looking for balanced weight loss. She asked about, that's one I asked about the creative.
Oh, you mean middle ear balance issues?
Yeah, I'm guessing so. No, she says looking for balance. So probably, I'm not sure what HRT stands for.
So if she had problems with the back of her neck and she injured it at one time, she might have a disc that's pinching some particular nerve bundles that will hinder with that. If that's the case, then get the liquid glucogel. If it seems like that's not the issue, then I would get CM cream with trauma from Ancient Legacy and make a super cream in it and put it on the inside here. Don't stick it in your ear because I don't want you to puncture your eardrum, but keep that going and then rub it on the back of your ear. And with a lot of people, that will help because it's an anti-inflammatory and anti-inflammation, and it might loosen up enough that you don't have that problem. And so that being said, that's what I do for the middle ear. Menstrual situations, there again, if it's extreme, I would go with the female hormonal balancer. Otherwise, women's hormone FX or women's hormonal balancer.
Yeah, so Grace is saying she's getting headaches and hot feet.
I'd probably get the female hormone from Good Herbs and give it a try.
Sounds like a good plan. And Michael reckons he's going to live same lifespan as the Hunzers, 200 years.
I don't know if I want to be around for 200 years.
Well, if you're in good health, I say why not?
Yeah. All right, guys.
Okay, thank you, Richard.
And, I'll be on next month, so send your questions in so that we can have a good 45, 50 minutes worth of chat next week. All right?
Okay. Thank you very much for your time. And as I ask you all nicely here in Bronie's World, to stay safe, stay informed, be empowered, but do not live in fear, my friends. And when you're giving your body what it needs, it certainly will help you to be powerful, beautiful, brilliant, and most definitely very brave. And thank you, Richard, for your time. I appreciate that you are limited with that. And I will work those. So you said the 15th and 22nd or something? September?
Yes, I could do both of those next month.
Okay. I will work out with Ben's, because I do Ben every fortnight, so every other week. Yeah. So I'll work out which one of those is not his week.
All right. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. God bless. Thank you very much.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you,
Richard. Thank you, Richard.